Hi, I'm Jesse Tyler Ferguson with Backstage, reporting from Backstage. Back to you.
So what's your favorite role that you've ever played on stage, film, or television?
Well, that's really hard. That's like choosing between children. It's like Sophie's Choice. I love playing Mitchell on Modern Family. I have a great affinity for Leaf Coney Bear and Spelling Bee because I think I got to create that character from the ground up, and so I definitely have a strong emotional attachment to that character. Gosh, but I mean, I loved also doing. I did a play in New York called The Most Fabulous Story Ever Told, a Paul Rudnick play, and I adored doing that. It was a very short run for me because I came in as a replacement, so I only got to do it for 5 weeks. So I kind of didn't really get to experience the full run of that show. So I've always mourned the loss of that character. I played Adam, if anyone knows the piece. Got naked and showed my ding dong in that one. It's true. That's why I miss it most. I love being nude on stage. Yeah.
We have it on record. Good. How about a dream role? Do you have a role that you would love to play?
I've just recently dipped my toe into the Shakespeare world. I've been able to do a little bit of Shakespeare in the Park in New York, and I would love to explore more classical roles. I would love to do some Moliere. I would love to do some Chekhov. I would love to do one of the Dromios in Comedy of Errors, or maybe both of them if that's possible. I'm kind of into like rediscovering some of that classical material and making it more relevant. I just did a production of Merchant of Venice in New York with Al Pacino, and I felt like I didn't know the piece before, but it felt like a very rediscovered new piece of theater, and it was really exciting that something so old could be brought back to life and made so new again. So that was really thrilling, and I'd like to do more of that stuff.
What is the best acting lesson that you ever learned?
Mary Testa, when I was doing On the Town, I flubbed my lines once on stage. And not only flubbed, I forgot my lyrics. The whole orchestra kept playing, and I just stood on stage with like a deer in headlights. I just let the music go by. I was terrified. I was so upset at the end of the number. The first opportunity I had to leave the stage, I locked myself into my dressing room and I cried. And Mary Testa, she comes up to me and she goes, "Listen, that's going to happen to you more times than once. It's going to happen many more times. It's a rite of passage for being an actor." And then she told me the story where she was at the Hollywood Bowl and she was singing Lady as a Tramp, and in front of many more people than I was performing for that night, she sang the lyrics. She gets too hungry for dinner at 8. She gets too hungry for dinner at 8. She gets too hungry for that dinner at 8, and that is why the lady is a tramp. And so I was like, listen, if Mary Testa, who I greatly admire, can F up in front of that many people, then I certainly can't beat myself up for having a human moment and forgetting my lyrics. And then, I heard that Cherry Jones forgot her whole role. Basically, she had to do half of Doubt with the script in hand once because she just had a total brain freeze and couldn't remember any of her lines. And so I think that's the best piece of advice, that actors are human. Live theater is a very visceral thing, and those moments make it exciting and make it what it is. That's why live theater is live theater.
And that was going to be my last question. What would be your best advice for the actors reading Backstage?
Well, my best advice that I've always held on to, that I always offer to other people, is never try to be more than who you are. I spent my first 3 years in New York trying to be the guy who could sing the score of Les Miserables, and I'm not capable of that. And I found that I'm very funny and I can turn a lyric in a certain way, and so I became more of an actor who interprets songs, and I let that be sort of where I grew. And I realized my capabilities, and also I realized my limitations, and I was fine with that. I didn't try to be anything more than I was. And even to this day, I'm horrible with accents. And every once in a while, you look at me and you think, oh, this kid should be in a Martin McDonagh play or something. And I have a horrible Irish accent, and everything I do ends up sounding kind of like everything sounds like Indian at the end, after I've done it for long enough, and it's just awful. And so I finally said, you know what, I'm not good at that. And I could work really hard and like maybe make it to an audition, but it's not in my comfort zone, and I have to be okay with that. And that's like one of my limitations, and I'm just like, that's okay. So I feel like being comfortable with your limitations is a really important thing.